What's good, y'all? She gets this Erica Payne back again with another BMF video. In this video, I am breaking down season 1, episode 3. Let's get into it. The episode opens on Meech getting rolled up on by Pat, who wants his payment plus 10% because they late on delivery, and that's a problem. And it creates an opportune moment for them to stay up under his organization. This episode is all about trust and figuring out who you can and cannot trust. And you always gonna have to question everyone, even your mentor who brought you in the game, who may have ulterior motives and want to keep you in the best place for their comfortability, not necessarily your growth. Pastor Swifty is in the home to pray for Terry, and it's clear that Charles is uncomfortable with him and his proximity to Lucille. It's not as clear if Charles's concern is warranted though, because Pastor Swifty does seem a bit shifty, but later in the episode we see Charles and Lucille argue over the mortgage and he orders her to obey him, which seems like it comes from a patriarchal place and not a protective one. So Daddy Charles ain't so good and wholesome after all, but struggling with his own demons of insecurity, ego, and jealousy that's causing him to create further strain on his family. So much so that he walks out on them at the end of the episode, abandoning his wife because he feels like she is moving like she wants Meech to be the man of the house over him. Sir, you're not in competition with your son to provide. If you are so dropped into being the only one to provide for y'all, but you also know that you're doing the best that you can, then you deciding to prefer that y'all get set out on the streets than let somebody else help is a problem. And you need to take that up with Jesus, not Lucille. There's 12th Street dudes meet over J-Mo going missing and Flenory in the hospital, and they don't even realize the Judas that's causing all of their strife is sitting amongst them right now. Lamar is in good with the 12th Street at the start of this episode, with whatever plan he has working out going off without a hitch. Now, Detective and his partner roll up on Terry at home to see if he remembers anything else from his shooting, and they ask about the car that Terry was shot in, and Charles stands at alert because things are getting clearer and clearer for him. Terry is not only pulled in a little bit with Meech, but he is heavy, so much so that he has a Mercedes outside of the home that they didn't even know about, that Wanda tries to lie about, and whatever else they don't know about. The only reason why I don't think that we see Charles press Terry at this point is because he's already lost one son and is not ready to lose another amongst all of the other losing that he feels like they are doing. But that day is coming. Terry starts to push back with Meech, the crew, Wanda in this episode, and I can totally see him and his father having a moment similar to how Charles and Meech have interacted very, very soon. I mean, it's only right that Charles have that same smoke for Terry, who partners with Meech in the game. After the interview, Bryant's partner questions him about his ties to the Flenory boys and why he goes so easy on Terry, and forces Bryant to check him. Yeah, Detective Bryant is in with these 50 boys and continues to cover and show up for them. Later on, we see that his partner ain't get the hint and is going to continue to uncover information because he brings up J-Mo and presses him about his so-called no knowledge of the Flenory boys. A wrinkle gets thrown in as outside state agencies are called in to help with their caseload for the next 18 months, including pending cases that include the Flenory boys, 12th Street, and more. So now Detective has to figure out how to regain control and shape the narratives with more cooks in the kitchen. He went from head honcho in this department to soldier in a general war on drugs happening in the unit of all of the agencies around Michigan. The 50 boys moved Kato and B-Mickie to the factories, and I finally call his real name. I call him Dink in my last breakdown, y'all. My bad. This was actually B-Mickie, or Big Mick is what they call him. But they moved them to the factory and are having a hard time making sales at first, with the robo-cops pushing up on them and no real clientele because nobody knows who they are. We see Pat is actually following Meech around as he checks up on them at the factories and at the strip club, but Meech figures out a plan to get in with the food trucks so that they can start to move more product in this expanding territory. The food truck parlay is brilliant because with it and motivating the crew at the rec center, they are able to come up with the cash for Pat by the deadline and pay him what they owe him while having a little left over for themselves. When Meech goes to deliver the payment though, he sees that Pat is using, which is a nugget that will probably come back later. Now, Lamar is playing nice with Zoe and Mo, and it looks like the father knows best fits him to a T. But I'm very concerned because dude goes from crazy to cool too quickly for any stable person. He is seriously capable of anything. He goes to the hospital to see Filmel to make sure that when he gets out the hospital, he don't come back to the block, which is better than what I thought he was going to do because I thought that he was just going to go ahead and finish the job. But I guess he got a little mercy to him. What do y'all think? Now, B-Mickie, let's talk about him for a second. He's been having a lot of questions and subtle smoke for Meech lately, and thank God Kato pressed him on what's going on with them because he was definitely giving me Snake vibes, even though he tells Kato like they're going to fight, they're going to have questions, they're going to cuss each other out, but at the end of the day, that's his man and they family. And I hope that he actually actually sticks to this because all of the things that he's been doing, he's been really going against everything that Meech says. If Meech says go left, he's like, no, I want to go right. And that to me symbolizes that there is no actual trust there on his end. And that's going to be something that Meech is going to have to worry about because we don't even know if Meech can actually really trust B-Mickie. But from what he tells Kato, it kind of seems like it. So we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt right now. A lot of the snakes in the grass are revealing themselves in this episode, and we got to start chopping heads off. Towards the end of the episode, we see Lamar press Kato, who apparently has a previous relationship with him. And damn it, I was so excited for Kato. But like I said, there's so many snakes in the grass, and she might be one too. She becomes the inside informant for Lamar. And I kind of get it. Like, Lamar is like, you going to do what I asked you to do, or I'm going to kill you or hurt you. So to keep herself safe, she got to do some things. But I feel like if we don't see her in the next episode or two, communicate to them like, yo, this is what's going on, so that they can figure out a plan to reverse engineer or take out Lamar, then she's going to definitely be a problem. I feel like she is a loyal person, but because her livelihood is being put into question right now, and because Lamar is now gunning for her, if she don't deliver, that's going to be a problem. But the way that she gets out of that and the way that she actually maintains her loyalty and keeps building trust with the 50 boys is if she comes clean. Like, tell Meech what's going on. Tell Meech that Lamar rolled up on you and you need to know, but trust me, I'm loyal to them. But we don't necessarily know that. We don't get that in this episode. We don't get to see where she stands. It just kind of feels like she's going to go along with it and let Lamar know what he wants to know. And he wants to know everything. He wants to know what the stash is. He wants to know who's holding what, when they holding it. He probably wants to know where everything is right before re-up, because he is definitely, as we saw earlier in the episode when he was meeting with the 12th Street Boys, he is ready to hit and take most of their money. Whenever they have the biggest amount or the biggest payday, that's when he want to strike and take everything so that he can take the organization down all in one fell swoop. All right, y'all, that is my full breakdown for BMF episode 3. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of this episode. While I think the series is moving very fast, I like this episode the most because I felt like the story was the most cohesive and I was able to follow everything that they was laying out, and a lot of the things are starting to get brought together and tied up, and all of the storylines I feel like are starting to converge. So things are not just happening and we just have to go with it, but it makes sense in reference to why they're happening. But I want to know what y'all think in the comment section down below. If you're new here, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn your bell notifications on so that you don't miss any of my BMF videos. It's your girl Erica Vane, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye.